Hey guys, Dakota here, and I'm here with Auden Larratt today. You can see he's looking massive. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone should know, but Auden is, I don't want to say you're just Devin's son because you're much more than that, but obviously your dad is probably the most famous arm wrestler in the entire world, and you have now stepped into the arm wrestling scene. When did you first, step in and get super duper serious about it? How old were you?
I would have been 17. I stepped in when I was 17. Yeah, it was right at the end of November. So what happened is I blew my shoulder, and I think you can still maybe see the scars, kind of the scar right there. I don't know if the
Oh yeah.
camera's good enough to see, but I blew my shoulder really bad. And at that point, I was doing everything. I was doing BJJ. I was doing a tiny little bit of Muay Thai. I was playing basketball, volleyball. I was doing everything. I was a multi-sport athlete. And then I was hindered. I was in this brace. I could only move my right arm. But guess what you can do with only one arm? You can do pronation lifts. And I
Yeah.
started to really fall in love with it. And I was already pretty good back then. I'd already won provincials. I've already kind of dabbled in it my entire life. But then at that point, I was like, all right, I want to really take this for a spin, see how far I can actually get. And then it's like a month after that, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna be the world champion.
Hey,
And
there you go. So, do you think it was the injury and the not being able to do anything else that kind of provoked you into getting super serious into arm wrestling, or do you feel like it was kind of the passion that came along with actually like only being able to do that and then just kind of finding it from there?
I would say it was a bit of both. I think the injury let me discover the passion, which is what I really like. Like I always enjoyed arm wrestling, but I never really committed to it for any period of time. But when I was all broken, I was like, what can I do? I can only do arm wrestling. So that's all I did for like a good month. And that's when I really fell in love with it. And then when I got healthy again, I stayed training, stayed training, stayed training. And I mean, I fall in love with it more every day. Every day I do it, I like it more and more and more and more. So I
No,
think
that's
that's what
perfect, man. Yeah. No, I have kind of a similar experience. Like I didn't get injured, but I was a lot of sports, same idea. And then what happened for me was when I got to college, I had pretty much been doing my pharmacy work and I didn't have enough time to fully commit to a basketball team or fully commit to a football team. And I was
yeah.
like, well, and then after that kind of went, then I was like, okay, well, now I'm not even good enough to be on these teams anymore. And I was like, what is something I can do? Because I was in that in between spot where I could show up to like a rec league and I would like drop 35 on people, but I couldn't
Not
play
bad.
like at a college level.
Uh-huh.
So, and then my dad was like, well, you live like 20 minutes from Matt Mask now. Like, you just go arm wrestle. And I was like, oh, fair enough. And then that's what I did. I went to a practice and kind of like you, I committed. And then I was like, yeah, now I really want to pursue this. And it's just great, kind of everything that comes along with it. So many cool opportunities. So. Speaking of opportunities, though, you're pulling at the Lion Pride 3 event. That's your next match against Hansa Toman.
Yes, I am, and I cannot wait, man. It's really exciting. So I'll give you a little backstory. So this last while, I've been doing a bunch of super matches. My training has stayed generally the same. My rate of progression is generally the same. There's every once in a while a bit of a jump, but I was doing a lot of table time, crazy amounts of volume, and I believe I was doing a little bit too much. I think
Okay.
the way I was doing it is my intensity. I was trying to maintain the highest intensity, like every day, maxing out. And I just think because of that, I didn't actually reach my peak intensity on the days I was trying to,
Okay.
because I would like hold back in anticipation for the next day. But now things have changed. So after pulling Coach Ray, I talked to him at length, and I think I learned a couple things. Like there's that, and there's a couple studies I saw that made me think just weird things. Now, what I'm doing now is much more like structured. There's 2 days of crazy intensity on the table, Monday and Thursday, and I love it, man. The gains I've
Yeah.
been making in this period, like it's only been like a month and a half. In this period, are astronomically better than they've ever been before.
Hmm.
And I feel like in the spots that I've been working, there's almost nobody who can contest me there anymore. Like they're really not in the areas that I pulled.
Yeah,
Like
fair enough.
with my dad, obviously my dad's beating me, but like Porky still beats me. But there's spots I can feel good with them, and then everybody else, it's like they're not even there. It's like I'm not even feeling in the ways that matter. So I just think I'm real strong right now.
So you added some structure, basically, is all you did. So before you were table time, table time, table time, and do you
Mhm.
think that was maybe because you were revving so high all the time that you didn't give your body enough time to kind of recover as well?
Yes, yes. So here's my theory and why I'm really digging into this. Because I was the mindset for the longest time, whatever you do, you get better at. So I'm like, I want to get good at arm wrestling. I'm an arm wrestler. I saw this study talking about tendon growth. Now, why I did so much arm wrestling is because I wanted to grow my tendons and ligaments and all those things. And people always talk about time under tension. Now, the thing that I didn't know, and I think a lot of people don't even know, is tendons and like connective tissue, like ligaments and stuff, grow best under stress. They actually grow while stressed. They don't need rest the way muscles do.
Okay.
And but it's not just any stress. It's around 20%. 20% of max. So what I was doing before, I was doing this super high, crazy intensity shit all the time because I thought that would make my tendons grow the best. When in reality, something like blood flow will do it much better, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, blood flow to grow tendons. How do you grow muscles? And my theory is like just fucking max the fuck out as hard as you can, get to that peak RPE and just like do that a couple times a week. So I've structured it where I have actual rest for my muscles now. Whereas before I wouldn't even like try and rest them. I'd be like, a rest day? What even is that? What a joke. So now I change my workout. So I've got Monday practice, Thursday practice, and then the day after practice I do outside really hard. Then the day after my outside hard day, I do inside really hard, and then I do a rest day on Sundays.
Okay. Well, there
Mhm.
you go, man. Like, I mean, that's something that I find really cool. Especially watching like your journey, particularly, is because I think you have not only so much knowledge from Devin, but you get to go and talk to all these people. You know, you
Mhm.
have like Coach Ray. You were saying all these people, and as you, there you go, and as you progress on, it's interesting for people to kind of watch what structures you take and what you decide to do, because I know there's kind of like, I don't want to say the old guard, but like there's people older than us who have maybe watched Devin's journey and watched kind of how he progresses. And I think
Mhm.
for people like myself, for younger arm wrestlers, new up and comers, it's kind of interesting to see like what the people at the top of the game or people like yourself who have a lot of accessibility to a lot of good resources in the arm wrestling community, kind of which lanes you take with it. So that's really cool to hear. So you think Hansa has no chance then, hey?
Oh man, I wouldn't go that far. Honza is really good. That's the thing. This guy is super legit. He's stupid fast. He's got a great low hand. He's got a great high hand too. Um, I would say definitely not no chance. I do think I can beat him. I do think it's
Okay.
going to be really hard to do, but I think it's just this training has been going so good. It's hard for me, really hard for me to imagine a loss here, unless I make some terrible mistakes. But I've
Fair
been
enough.
working on staying tighter. I've been working on all my shit. I think I've got a really good shot at this one. But he is no slouch. He is super legit. It's just I don't know. I feel unstoppable right now.
Well, that's perfect. Well, I guess some questions I have along with that, because I know he's gotten gold at like the nationals over there, and I know he's got is pretty sure bronze youth at WAF, right?
Yeah, he did.
Wow, so very impressive. Um, you're going over there for that competition. Do you think that the refing, anything along those lines, is there anything in that sense where you're maybe like worried about it, or are you just kind of coming in ready to kind of rumble under whatever they kind of present?
Yeah, so it's a good question. The refs definitely are a whole lot more strict in that league,
Yeah.
but I have watched Lion Pride. I have watched it, and it's not just like WAP. They're a bit looser on everything. They like the matches more. It's not like you even think about moving to get a foul. They're
Hmm.
pretty good at what they do. So I am not too worried about the refs. I've watched their stuff. I know how it is. I adapt to the style that I'm refed at. People think like I'm out of control, but how many times do I really foul out? That's the thing. Like I
Yeah,
will foul
no.
out when I'm trying to get out of the match. Like I understand the rules very well, and if I'm breaking them, I know I'm breaking them. So I adhere to any rule set, any league. I know they're more strict than like say like a Mac event or something. So I am ready for that. I'm ready for the strict rules. Not gonna be a problem, I don't think. I actually prefer them personally.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I think you kind of hit a point there, and it's something I wanted to talk about with you. A
Mhm.
lot of people, I think, whether it's because of the social media that you post or because of certain factors, they think that you're not as calculated as you actually are. I think a lot of people don't get to, sit and have a conversation with you and just kind of actually understand like how much thought and effort goes into these things. Like whether it's the opponent, whether it's the game plan, whether it's what you're doing leading up to it. Like people will see you drinking a smoothie and then puking and they're like, "Okay, this guy's insane."
Yeah.
But, it's like any of those guys who are up there on social media. You need to have things that draw people in, and I think that you hit a really good niche there of drawing people in, and then along with that, people lose understanding. But
Yeah, I
well,
mean, those are good points. I touched on those briefly. The reason I do that is just to get people interested in just in me, in the sport, in arm wrestling, because they watch this and they're like, hopefully this is what they think, and they're like, what is going on here? They click on my account, they find arm wrestling, and they hopefully get inspired to do not as crazy stuff as I'm doing, but fun stuff.
no, for sure, and that was actually like you kind of answered a question of mine, but it was more your take on social media. And one thing I think you do that I think it's kind of a catch-22 because I think you appeal to some audiences that not every arm wrestler appeals to. But I think in doing that, the arm wrestling audience doesn't always find you appealing, if that makes sense.
100%, 100%. And I have thought about this plenty. Actually, this is something I've toiled over, and I've came to the conclusion that I am not trying to make content for like people who are already. I want everybody to enjoy my content, but like I'm not trying to make it so the people who are super hardcore fans are like, yeah, this is the stuff I want to watch. Obviously, I want to make that too. But what I really want is I want to introduce new people to the sport, young people. I want to get people into the sport and like just get interest. And the way to do that, social media is it's all about just getting people to have an emotion, to react,
Yeah.
drama, chaos, rage bait, like shock value. So I'm just trying to play the game here. I'm just trying to play the game the best I can. I'm sure my strategy will change, but I really my goal here is to grow the sport. I want to grow the sport for everybody. Obviously, that benefits me too because I'm a member of the sport.
Yeah.
But I want to make it. My dream would be for one day if you're to tell somebody, yeah, I want to be a professional arm wrestler, people aren't like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. Like, yeah, good luck
Yeah.
with that. Because right now, that's what it is. Because there's no money in it. There's no recognition. It's very very small. You have to be like the elite of the elite to make it work. And obviously, like we're better than we've ever been. But I think we can keep pushing that. So my goal is one day to be like, yeah, looking back, I helped this happen. I helped it happen where we can have dudes who actually push and strive to become the best because it's possible and
Yeah.
they can make a
No.
living doing it.
Yeah, no, that's so funny you said that because actually, like, Neil Pickup said it a little differently, but in literally the last interview I did yesterday, he said pretty much the same thing. He's like, my goal is to have it so you can go into a gym one day and there's an arm wrestling table there, and if people ask, oh, what are you doing? And you say, I'm an arm wrestler, and they're like, oh. And what he compared it to is he's like, imagine 30 years ago going into a gym and saying, oh, I fight people bare knuckle in a cage. They would have laughed at you, whereas now people don't laugh. And I think that that's something that's very attainable. And I think you nailed it. You're in a good spot because you can do anything arm wrestling related, and people will watch you. Like you don't really have to appeal to that audience, um, but yet you are in this fun spot where you're just like, I'm gonna rage bait some. I'm gonna make somebody mad. I'm gonna make somebody leave a comment, and now they know what arm wrestling is. But obviously, it's working because you're at 76,000. I checked earlier today because I wanted to have kind of my stuff lined up. But you're at 76,000 on Instagram and 103,000 on YouTube. And there's not many people that ever get to those numbers. So
It's
obviously,
worth
the
it. I'm real lucky. I'm real lucky.
proof's in the pudding. You work hard for it too, though, right?
Oh,
Like, I mean, that's another topic we could go down a whole rabbit hole, but I'm sure you get that lots where people are like, "Oh, I wish I was in Auden's boots," blah blah blah, and it's like, I'm sure it has its perks, but I'm also sure it does not, and it's you got to be in somebody's shoes before you really want to say you've been there. But I think you do a great job.
well, thank you. I
Well,
appreciate it. Yeah.
yeah, no problem. While we're on the social media side of things, though, I do think a perk that comes along with this and the way you've built yourself up is you get to train with all these influencers, all these people who, like I'll give some examples. We'll do David Lade, James English. We got a Gymshark guy and a young LA guy. Guys who are around, like people watch them for just for bodybuilding, lifting, those kind of things. You get to kind of train with them or have super matches with them.
Yeah.
What's that like? Like, yeah, what's it like?
It's great, man. Both David and James, super cool guys. I'm glad I could meet both of them. Yeah, I mean, both these guys, they showed some interest in arm wrestling, so I did my best to help them out when they could, and then we kind of just became buddies from there. But yeah, arm wrestling has played such a huge role in my life. It's hard for it not to. I've traveled the world. I've been to almost every continent now. I've done a lot because of arm wrestling, and I'm eternally grateful for it. And this is why I'm trying to give this opportunity because I do feel very lucky. Like you were saying, I have worked for it. I have continued to work. But that doesn't mean I can't acknowledge the fact that I've been extremely lucky to be in the position I'm at. I feel like there's probably almost nobody else in the world that is in the same position as me. So I thank my lucky stars every day for that. But my goal is to make it so that other people can have that position, can have the opportunity to pursue arm wrestling to the level that I have. So I just think if I can achieve that, I mean, that's pretty huge. I think that's a generational like achievement.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and that's probably an interesting position to be in because you are kind of in such a unique spot. I'm sure that has its perks. I'm sure that has its downfalls. But I want to change directions, but I have a personal question that I wanted to ask you first
Sure.
off.
That's the
In one
way.
of your videos, you arm wrestled that one guy, and then he talked about boxing you or whatever. Was that completely legit?
Totally legit. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't script any of the interactions in those videos. I was thinking about it recently, being like, maybe I'm gonna tell the guys the next one to play it up a bit to get like, because of how well these videos have done, like the
Yeah.
clips are bad. But no, that was totally legit. I actually have an even worse one that I didn't post because the guy was so bad in it. I was like, I feel bad for this guy because he was obviously a little bit drunk,
Oh
and
yeah.
if I posted it, it would have made him look like a total asshole.
Oh, you'll have
So
to
I,
show
I
me
felt a
that
little bit bad.
sometime.
I deleted it. I deleted the footage. I feel like
Oh.
such an idiot. I should have held on to it, but I was being the bigger man that day, and I regret it. I should have been down in the dirt and made a bunch of clips and farmed for views. But no, that boxer guy, that was totally legit. He didn't like that I beat his friend, and yeah, he wasn't happy. Was not happy at all.
I mean, what can you do? Some people's egos just get in the way. But yeah, anyways, jumping over to a topic we kind of talked about generality social media, but I want to get a little more in depth with just kind of your journey thus far. And I want to just start off by asking, like, what's your favorite super match that you've had been and why?
That I've been in, or just
That
I've
you've
seen.
that you've competed in.
Um, I would say my favorite super match I've ever done. You know, I think, and this is still early to say, but I think it's probably the most recent one I did, pulling Ray.
Okay.
I do believe that loss has changed me. I really think it has. I think I've learned a lot. And I think my trajectory now has changed in a very positive way. I think it made me think about a lot of things. And to me, why I like that is because it caused growth. I think it caused some significant growth. We're going to see in this next one. But I am so appreciative for Ray. I'm so appreciative for what he taught me. He taught me so much, and I really think I can take these lessons home. But I mean, I would like if I would have won that match, obviously. But I do appreciate a good loss. I do.
Yeah, well, you got to lose to win, right? And
Mhm.
as much as everyone's probably like, it probably sucks for you to lose more than most because a lot of people are just get really excited. But while we're on the topic, and Ray, I think is a really good example. But like you said, you've been to almost every continent. I feel like you've probably arm wrestled every place you've been. Do you notice the differences in styles?
Oh
And
yeah.
so, do you think that's just like a continental thing, or do you think that narrows down to a club thing? Like, why do you think some places are just pull the way they do, and then others are completely different?
I can explain that very well because I thought about this plenty. Because I always thought it was interesting, and I believe it's all to do with who we have. It's not to do with the geological location. Was I say geological? Man, I'm terrible. Geographical location. I just think it's to do with the stars we've got. Like OHH, for example. Everybody there can do a King's move. Every single member, from the youngest dudes to the 60-year-old men we got, we can all kings move. And it's because we got that. It's because we have these guys. I'm sure if you go to somebody like Jerry's club, almost everybody there can probably flop
Yeah.
because they have these pillars of arm wrestling that everyone wants to learn from, and they teach what they're best at. Now, I do believe there's a cultural thing as well. I think if you go to a lot of places in Eastern Europe, those things, you'll have a lot more hook dominant, fundamental, traditional arm wrestling. Whereas you go somewhere more like Canada, America, you're going to have more fringe, weird stuff like the King's move, like the flop, much more prevalent here. But I do think it has a lot to do with just where you're from, in particular, the guys you're training with, and that kind of gets passed down. I'm sure even in Canada, Canada's a big spot. You go around Canada, you're gonna have different styles. Like we all pull Kings up here. You drive 2 hours out to like Picton or even further to Toronto. Most guys are hooking. Most guys are top rolling.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what you said because even Alberta, for example, it's like a trickle down effect in a way because obviously, like, Matt is our beacon over here. Like, he's the
Mm-hmm.
guy. And I think when you watch how people kind of develop and how they come up, everybody wants to pull with them, wants to train with them. They'll try and come to Red Deer to train with them. And I know Red Deer, for example, we all kind of can pull in. We can't emulate exactly what he does, but just because when you train with him, he's pulling you in that direction, you can really tell who trains with him more and who trains with him less because they kind of are. You're almost just used to being pulled against yourself in that direction. It's like interesting. And I like what you said with Jerry. That's a really good example because I'm sure all those guys can just dive into a nasty press. And on the topic of Jerry and all these guys, let's talk East versus West a little bit. So there was a recent injury with Levon. I don't want to go too deep into that, but I just want to ask, how do you think that changes the scene of arm wrestling in the next three years? We'll say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Hopefully it doesn't change it too much. I do think if everything goes according to plan, and it seems like it seems like LeVon's injury is not too terrible. He'll be able to come back. He'll be able to train. I think hopefully him and Michael pull in June to
Okay.
keep his title so we don't have this weird interim thing. That's always a mess when the guy doesn't pull in a year. And then we have like multiple champions. That's never fun.
Hmm.
So hopefully Levon pulls Michael in June, stays the top. My dad beats Vitaly twice, both left and right, and then pulls Levon end of year, smokes him for the number one championship. But
I
I
mean,
expect I expect Levon will be fine and he'll come back and pull Michael. I expect it'll happen. This is my prediction now. Putting it out there.
okay. Well, let's extend that prediction a little bit. In 5 years, oh, five might be a little far. Let's say 3 years. In 3 years, who is number one in the world in the super heavyweight division?
That's a tough question. Really
It,
tough question
it is.
because I do believe my dad will beat LeBron. I do think it'll happen. But the big question is after it happens, what happens then? He might drop down. He might go categories. He
Yeah.
might cut to 115 and just beat up there, 105, work his way down. Because, I mean, he can't keep pushing forever.
Hmm.
So it's just a matter of time. I mean, I know he'll be in arm wrestling forever. I just don't know if it'll be super heavyweight arm wrestling forever. I know he wants to
Yeah,
beat
like
LeBron.
kind of where
Then
at.
from there, that's the thing. Like, if he beats Vitaly, he beats LeBron, he owes Michael another match. He owes Hermes another match. But if he does all those, it's like, who's left? Like,
Yeah.
who is there left to beat? He's beaten everybody. So it's like, at that point, just take care of yourself, take care of your health, drop down, do the same thing in the categories. Like, really, that's step number two. So after that, I mean, I feel like maybe LeBron will reclaim it. I think in 3 years, it'll be LeBron again. Or
Okay.
Vitaly if he's as good as people think. But I'm not so sure he is.
I see that it's interesting to me with the whole Devin Vitale. We can talk on that. I do want to talk Mike Levon a little more because I know Mike
Yes.
is pushing really hard for that.
As he
And there's
should.
there's a lot of there's kind of a lot of questions that come into that now, especially if it does happen, Levon coming off an injury. But I guess my first question is the Mike that we're kind of seeing progress right now. If Levon were to come back pretty much par with where he was, how do you see that match going?
Well, obviously, LeBron's the favorite.
Yeah.
And against anybody, he's the favorite. But I do think Michael has a pretty good chance. I think he has a better chance than a lot of guys do, just because it's so hard to beat Levon in an orthodox style.
Hmm.
Like Hermes tried it, and he only had success when he was like out here doing this gross shit. Vitali, like he had one good round years ago when Levon wasn't what he was. Now also Vitali was not what he was as well, but
Yeah.
I just think the way somebody's going to beat Levon, it's going to be by like tricking him into some weird shit, and it's
Yeah.
going to be like gassing him out. I don't think anybody's going to be stronger than him. So I
Okay.
think Mike's kind of like the perfect guy to do that, because to finish Mike, to actually get that pin,
Yeah.
you either need to break him, which hasn't really happened yet, or you need to climb over so high to get the pin. And that's hard to do. Even done perfectly, it takes a lot out of you. So you
Yeah.
need great endurance. So I just think I just would love to see it. I'd love to see if Michael can get this stop. If he can sink that in right at the pad, I know he's so hard to finish. You saw how high Georgie Svetkov was. He had
Yeah.
the entire hand just dominating, and he still couldn't finish. Now, he couldn't finish because he was coming forward and doing weird stuff. He probably could have kept climbing and maybe finished that way. But
Maybe.
this is all some like hypotheticals. Michael
Yeah.
won the match because he bled him out. So I
100%.
would love to see if Levon can do anything different. I think Michael's progressing still to this day. I think he's getting better, more technical. I think his setups is improving. I think everything's improving. And I think if he has that match with Levon, he's going to be in the best shape ever, no question, that he's ever been in. And I think the league would be foolhardy to not set that match up. I think Levon has to do it. I think Levon almost has to do it because Michael he doesn't have another full year to wait for Levon because his dad's got to pull him. I just think you can only be pushing for so long. And I think Michael
Yeah.
has earned the shot. He's earned it. Like
Yeah.
he's earned the shot. He's pulled all the guys. He's every time he's been there, he's stepped up. He's stepped up. I just think there's nobody else going to pull Levon. Give him Michael.
So, two kind of side questions for this. I agree
Uh-huh.
with what you're saying. I think Devin said it on the fix actually, but he's like Mike's pretty much pulled everyone at the top except for Levon, so it would be crazy to deny him of that. And I agree. And then my second question is what happens if Camille comes in and just completely ruins his plan now?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. If Camille beats him, it does negate some of the power that his claim has to the number one
Hmm.
spot. It definitely messes some things up. This is a big if. I don't think Camille can beat him. I
I don't
really,
think so
really
either.
don't. I think Mike is better now when he faced Camille the last time. And I mean, Jerry Carteret, King's move, Camille.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Michael can do that too. I would
Yeah.
think. I would think. Now listen, Camille's no joke. He's really dangerous, and I think one of the reasons Camille had trouble with Jerry's King's move is because there was that inside threat immediately from Jerry, and he
Yeah.
kind of had to bring him out first. And I don't know. Either way, I just think Michael's probably got him, but there's no. If Camille beats him, this shakes things up. This shakes things up big
For
time
sure.
because that was the guy we were going to give to Levon. Hard to give him Levon when he loses to a dude.
Yeah, no, I agree. One thing I think's interesting is, I guess I'll ask you this question: that like stopping point that Michael has right near the pin pad, that
Yeah.
kind of lock, like you said, you either got to kind of break it or climb so far you come over it. Do you think that is a better stopping point than what your dad has there?
I would not use the words better. I would just use different.
Okay.
Now, against LeBron, it might work. That's the thing. It's not. I do not think Michael has the same center my dad does. I don't think he has the same ability to rise and
Okay.
climb that my dad does. But I do believe Michael's pure actual King's move, that lock right at the end, is probably better.
Okay.
Now, you can debate which one's more important. In my
Yeah.
opinion, the center's more important, the ability to set the rise and then King's move. But sometimes it doesn't matter. If you can get the guy to hold on without the rise, if you can get them to hold on and they're trying to finish you, all that matters is the lock.
Hmm.
And if Levon holds on and does that, Michael could have a lot of success, just like working right in that last little range of motion, because he's so strong right at the end there.
Yeah.
Right at that last little bit, he's so strong. There's a chance. I'm not saying he's a favorite. I'm just saying there's a chance.
Yeah, well, and like you said, it better maybe isn't the perfect word, but it's
Mm-hmm.
different because sometimes all you need is a little difference to make a match look like not even the same match. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, well, we might as well talk about it while we're here. Well, actually, yeah, we'll do Devin Vitale first. Then I got another one I want to talk to you about. But so with the Levon injury, your dad stepping up left arm. That's got to be intriguing in the household. Had to be something that came up was talked about. Ooh, so how are you guys feeling for that?
Really excited. Really, really excited. Yeah, I mean, well, we're realists over here. Left hand is not my dad's best arm.
Hmm.
It's good, but it's not his right. So the thought here is if he beats him, incredible. The best. That's the best. Obviously, we're trying to have that win. It's not
Yeah,
like he's not showing up to lose,
of
obviously.
course.
But if he can do anything with him left, then his right is fucked. There's no
Yeah,
chance. There's no
yeah,
chance. If you can do anything with him left, there's not a chance he wins on the right. Because the right, it's just a different level these days. It's just a different level. It's so astronomically stupid strong, where it doesn't even make sense. So if he wins the left, whatever. Like just it'll be a great show on the right. But if it's close, I think it just alludes to the fact that he's gonna have too much. I think that my dad's hand right now, it's just too much. I think it's just too much. Now left is
okay,
very exciting. I can't wait to see it,
yeah.
but the right's where it's really at.
So what's more? Okay, well, left is exciting. Realistically, is the right arm more exciting for you just because of kind of the stakes that comes with it, or yeah, it's more
Yes.
exciting?
I would say generally yes. That's the match that's cooler to me because
Yeah,
that's where Levon is. I just think the left-handed category is not as deep as the right-handed category. I think you're missing a lot of guys. Ermi's left is not as good as his right. My dad's
yeah,
left is not good as his right. Levon's not pulling left. We just have a lot of these super heavyweight guys that aren't doing the left-hand division. So we don't really know how good they are. Like we know Vitali's the best, but like him and Morzop were close,
yeah,
and then Krudetcha and Morzop were close, and it's like who's real? Like there's nobody here. It's like just outstandingly better than everybody else, like Levon. So
yeah.
there's a chance my dad goes in and messes him up. I mean, look what my dad did to Alex Krudetcha last time they pulled.
That's what I'm
And then you
saying,
look at
dude.
Morzop, and you look at all these kind of arm wrestling math, and
Yeah.
there's a shot. There's a shot.
There's 100% a chance there, which is why I think it's exciting. Everyone's going to tune in. I do agree with what you said though. Does kind of take away right arm credibility if Devin gets him on the left because it's just like everybody knows the difference, and I think that's so funny. But another one I want to talk about, and I was actually just talking with this guy recently too. But Brad Grundy called out Ryan Bowen.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Oh, that's perfect. We need to do that. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
I don't see why not, right? But
Oh, 100%.
it sparked some debate because Brad is for like number one ginger, but then I saw someone made a poll where it had Jerry and Todd
Yeah.
Hutchings. I'm like, oh, this is expanding way too far. It's hilarious. Do you think
Yeah,
Brad beats Bowen?
I do. I do
I do
think
too.
Brad beats Bowen. I think it's a good match. I think Bowen looks awesome right now. He's obviously training very hard. I just Brad, I think, is a better arm wrestler. Just straight up, I think he's a better arm wrestler. I think he'll be able to maintain the height better. And I don't see Brad losing to a King's move. Not the way that Ryan does. Not the way that Ryan
Yeah,
arm wrestles. I just don't see it happening like that. So I would love to see it,
yeah.
but I think Brad's gonna win that one.
Well, Brad loves pulling King's movers too.
He does it all the time. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like he does it all the time when he comes up here. We all Kings move him, and he's good about it. He knows how to climb. He knows how to do all that shit. So it's gonna be good. I
yeah.
hope
What
that happens.
about?
It should.
Yeah, me too. What about Brad and Reichard Bowman
Yeah, Reichard Borman. That's a
or
strong
Borman?
dude.
Sorry.
I mean, Reichard seems to be ahead. Just looking at how did Brad and Pablo do? They pulled right hand, yeah.
I
I feel like
can't remember off the top of my head to be
I'm
honest.
terrible about that kind of stuff. But I would think
Oh, they
Reichard
did
might be
pull.
too much.
I
What's
think they
that?
pulled in Florida.
They
Actually, no, I
did.
think Brad beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either way, I think that could be a good match. Could be a good match. I think we gotta kind of shelter Reichard a little bit. You don't want to I don't want
yeah,
to set Reichard up to lose. I think he's a potential next superstar. So I think if we can keep giving him awesome, cool matches, guys like Schoolboy,
yeah,
that kind of realm, that's perfect. That's perfect. This is perfect to keep him kind of winning. Like obviously we give him hard matches. Like we're not just gonna feed him easy ones. But
yes,
well, I don't think throwing him to the dogs is the right idea. Like
calculated.
calculate. You make every match harder than the last one, but you don't give him some dude who's like top 5 in the world or something crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Reichard has an awesome potential, awesome trajectory. If he keeps riding these wins, in no time he'll be right up there with the best.
Yeah, it's super cool to see actually just kind of coming in and by storm a little bit too, and getting it's like he was training at Mike's place for a little bit there, so he's getting the exposure that he needs. I think that's really cool, and I'm curious to see where he goes with that as well. So we talk about East versus West. Now another league that you've pulled in recently a few times is MAC.
Mm-hmm.
You had some tough competition at MAC.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them I stepped in 4 days' notice on my
Well, yeah,
non-knowing
mine,
hands,
and he
but
just beat Merlot, man, like
yeah, that's
crazy.
people didn't know how good he was, and like Nicola pulled out, and I'm like, whatever. He's staying on the house. I know he'll kill me, but I'm never one to back down from a challenge. And
Yeah,
people are like, oh, you lose this guy who's louder than you. I'm like, just wait, just you wait. He's gonna go and beat some dudes, and everybody's gonna be like, okay, that's fine. Because I mean, yeah, it's just like killed John Thurian like he wasn't even there. Beat
yeah.
Jason Marlowe in a good match. He was very in control, but it was still a good match. He's a monster.
Yeah,
He's a monster.
Straps completely changed that. That
Yeah.
was uh that was interesting to me, but it was a very fun technical match to watch. Um, who who do you want to see him pull next? Because I know you guys are buddies, and I know it's probably again calculated. Don't throw him to the wolves, but give him someone harder.
You know, there's a couple ideas. I know he wants Sock. I know he wants to go for the number one spot. I know he does, but I think he should slow himself down a little bit and pull some guys in the way. But he always talks to me about like he wants the best. He wants the number one. He thinks he's ready right now, and he very well might be. He
Yeah,
is just unbelievably strong. But I do think there's guys before on the way that you could do. You could do Mindaugas left. You could do. There's a lot of fun matches you could do left hand before Olin, but
you think he's
that's
ready
one
for
that's going to.
Mindaugas, or would you do one before Mindaugas on the left?
I think he'll beat Mindaugas left
Oh
right now.
wow,
Yeah. I think he'll beat him quite dominantly, but I think it's still a good match. I
because I
think
don't.
Mindaugas is a total monster,
Yeah,
but I just don't think his left is as good as his right, and I think Mayan might just be too strong. I think Mindaugas is better technically, but Mayan is just a monster. Like he really, it doesn't make sense how strong he is. It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
okay. Interesting, because I wrote a hypothetical here I wanted to talk to you on. I didn't know the level though, and this is why I'm good at talking to you. But I was thinking, actually, Kirsten from no, not
Like he'll kill Kirsten.
he'll kill Kirsten.
Left
Interesting.
hand,
Okay,
left hand or right hand?
left hand.
Yeah, left hand,
So
not even a match. He'll kill Kirsten.
would right hand be a good match?
Maybe. My hand's right's not as good as the left. That could be good.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. That's cool. No, I because obviously beating Jason that way is phenomenal, but I didn't quite know. So it's nice to get because I know you've pulled with him lots to get that idea.
I was surprised Jason did anything with him. I was
Okay.
surprised, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Jason's real good. That's the thing. Like, I've seen the guys he's beaten, but I just pulling my hand and seeing what my hand does to guys, I was like, yeah, he's just going to bend him. He's just going to bend him in and go.
Okay. That's awesome. But yeah, while we're on the topic of Mac, obviously they got the tough coming up. They got a bunch of stuff coming up.
Mhm.
How do you like that sort of table? Like, what personally do you think it's better for you, and how do you see that kind of going with the progression of just arm wrestling as a whole?
The Mac table is very interesting to me. I'm very conflicted on it because I'll start with the stuff that I'm not a huge fan about because there's not very many. There's not very many. I do not. I do not think that the pads should be as high as they are. I think the pads are an inch higher than a regular arm wrestling table, and the pin pads, I mean.
Yeah,
And to me, that kills matches before they can really get in. I know plenty of guys, I've seen plenty of Mac matches where it's like they stop like right at that line, and it is a pin on the Mac table. But if it wasn't a Mac table, it wouldn't be a pin. Then we're in
yeah.
for war. And to me, I think you should actually lower the pads.
You
I
got to
think you should
bury them.
you gotta bury them like
Yeah,
flat or like a centimeter of pad. Like
yeah,
why are we making it stop here? Like stop down here all the way
yeah.
down. So that's really my only actual gripe with Mac. But the things that I really like that they're doing, and there is plenty, is I like the increase in pad size. I really enjoyed that. I like the streamlined nature of the setup, how it's much faster,
Hmm.
how you're right away, you're in the set. Personally, I like fighting for straps. I think the one slip rule that's questionable. I do see why you do it. I think it's a smart move for the audience. I think it's a great move for the audience. It's just personally as a competitor, I prefer to get the strap. Um, I like what else I was going to say. I like the warning system they have with the elbow coming close. But like to me, an even better option would be just get rid of all that. Just get rid of all the warning, get rid of all the padding even. Like get it like just make it a big pad.
Just a
Like
freedom
one big
table,
pad,
pretty much.
basically freedom table. So
Yeah.
what I'm basically saying is I think they're making awesome steps in the direction of a freedom table. And I think this is the end product. What they have right now, I do quite enjoy, but I just think there's many steps along the way to get to perfection. And the guys running it, Ian, Matthias, Matt Oliver, JJ,
Yeah.
like they're all
Awesome.
great. And they're all working on this stuff. They're all thinking. They're all coming up with ideas. And I'm sure they thought of this stuff. I am always thinking, how do we make the sport bigger? How do we make it less confined to a pad, to a pin pad? And the answer is always freedom. So I like decreasing pads, and I think it's a good idea. But I don't think they're done yet.
Yeah, you gotta go to Japan and do some arm sumo.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna. I will say it now. I will be the second foreigner ever to win the Arm Sumo Championship. I will be the second one ever to do it. I think the
That's
first
sick.
one was my dad,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody else has ever done it.
I don't know personally, but I must say, like, ever since I've seen your dad go over and pull, a lot of
Mhm.
my buddies want to go to Japan, and I'm like, guys, to be honest, I'd love to go, but you'll just catch me arm sumo. Like, I'll find a place where I can do arm sumo, and I'll be trying that all the time because it looks like so much fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, I would love to do that. Last year we were kind of in talks with the guys, and we were trying to figure out when to go, and we were gonna maybe make it work. But I want to go when I feel ready, when I think I can win, and I want to go. And anybody watching this, if I'm wrong, if somebody else has won it, that's a foreigner, please let me know in the comments below because I'm really interested. I'm really really interested because I want to be the second guy to do it, and that's already been done. I'll be devastated.
That, dude, let me know when you go to Japan, man. Honestly, I'll meet
I'll
you
let you
there.
know. I'll let you know.
Go,
We should pull up and smoke that tournament.
that'd be so fun. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, freedom seems to be things are kind of always leading there when things are expanding. I've even noticed you go watch WAL things like that. It always seems to kind of lean in that direction. So I'm curious to see in the future how things go. Another kind of topic of direction with the future I wanted to talk to you about though is just promoting in general. And when I talk to you, I can tell you're in the now, but you're also thinking how can the sport be better 5, 10, 20, 40 years from now.
Yeah.
You have been around, you've seen all these promotions, you've talked to all these promoters. What are some things, and I'm not saying like knock promotions, but I'm just saying what are things that you see that you feel could help the sport hit the next level from a promotion standpoint?
Yes, yeah. So I have some very strong feelings on these things actually. Now I by no means have all the answers, and everybody promoting is doing their best, and they're all trying to make this sport work, and I'm ever grateful. But I think the pay-per-view model is a disaster. I think it is not. It cannot work in the long run. You look at UFC, and you look at what they did, and I think they're very smart for that. All and boxing's doing it too.
Hmm.
We're moving to streaming platforms. I don't know how to do this. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I don't have the answers. But if we can somehow get on Netflix, on Hulu, get on some sort of streaming platform or some sort of broadcast where it's not relying on people paying and you can just watch it and it's like you get ads. If you can just make it where it's basically free to watch with a subscription or something,
Yeah.
that to me is so much better than the pay-per-view model. It's so much better in every way. It's stability. It's the ability to plan ahead in the future and not be like, oh, are we going to make enough money on this event here to fund the next event? And then like
Yeah.
making cuts to the athletes and then the product's worse. I just think if we can get some sort of deal set up where it's on streaming, it's scheduled stuff, it's not pay-per-view, I think that will change the entire sport overnight. Overnight, it'll happen. And I know some people who are working on this right now who are trying to go that route. And I think if they can get that to hit, that will explode the sport, the next level.
So do you think Tough is going in the right direction with their Fight TV?
Most definitely they are. Yeah, most definitely they are. I love that idea. I've told Jason plenty that he's super smart for that, for kind of cutting out the pay per view, trying to go more the broadcast television route. I think that is a way, way better idea. It just makes it accessible. So anybody can watch. Because the first time viewer, the guy who's just interested in arm wrestling, isn't going to drop $20 to watch pay-per-view. But
Yeah.
if they're like, oh, it's free this day, yeah, I'll give it a watch for sure.
Mhm.
And that will get us fans like we've never seen before.
Okay. Anything else, or pretty much?
I mean, there's always small things. There's always
Yeah.
small things from event to event, but that's the big one I see consistently across events that I just don't think will work in the long run. It works temporarily, and I understand why you have to do it. I do get it, but I just think if we're really trying to make this work, that's the answer.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Especially, I think that's just a way to kind of get new people to come in, like you were saying, much
Mhm.
easier. If you have a fan base to a point where you don't need any more new fans and they're committed fans, then I think a pay per view works a little differently. But I think when you're a sport like we are and we're pushing growth, we're trying to get more and more people in, and then we're getting to a point where we're creating this money barrier. And like you said, money for maybe me or you to watch a pay per view, whatever, it's $20. But if someone's, like, oh, I gotta pay to watch this, like it's arm wrestling. So I do see where you're coming from. On the other side of the coin, now let's talk athletes. Let's talk,
Mhm.
if you're an athlete and you want to help build the sport, you want to promote yourself better so that you bring in more money for the promotion. That way it's beneficial for both. What are some things you would recommend? Because I'd say you do this almost better than really, like, you just better than most.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. But
You're welcome.
I think the answer is very simple, and everybody knows the answer. They just don't do it. They just, the answer is post,
Yeah.
create drama, create interest. People, the worst thing, and this is kind of like a joke in the arm wrestling community, like, oh, tomorrow the table will show. It's like, no, nobody wants to see you say that. Post stuff, talk shit. You don't even have to be disrespectful. Just build hype somehow. It's a lot easier to be disrespectful. Like it's very easy to talk crap, to build promotion in that way where one guy's playing the heel. But you can just be a good guy and post all the time. It's just you need to let people be interested. The
Yeah.
entire thing. It's all about interest. Make yourself interesting. You want to get paid. You want to have fans. You got to make it so people actually care. If they don't care, they're not going to follow you. They don't care how good you are in arm wrestling. Like they really don't care. Some of the best guys in the world. Some of the best guys in the world have the smallest followings
Yeah.
because they don't talk, they don't post, they do nothing. And then you got me and I'm like terrible. I'm shit at this fucking sport, and I have not a bad following. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. The best guys should have the best followings, but they're just not putting the work in on the social media. And I understand that. I get it. Social media is a newer thing. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the champions are older, but they need to understand it's a different era now. It's a different era. This is the era of the phone, of the instant gratification. So just start
Doom
posting,
scrolling,
start talking
man.
shit, doom scrolling, man. All
Brain
the
rot,
time.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make
Everyone
them
has the
stop
answer. Just
scrolling to
post.
watch you.
What's that?
You got to make them stop scrolling to watch you.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have a hook. Work on your hooks. Work
Yeah.
on social media. It's a skill, man. It's a
It
skill.
is a skill. I completely agree. And I could probably post more myself. That's why I'm doing these interviews. I try and do a YouTube video every 2 days at least. I could be a little better on Instagram. But a quote that I forget where I saw it, but I saw it somewhere. I might have been doom scrolling, fun fact. But it said, "Make yourself more valuable than money." The
Yes.
guy was like, people are interested in you and they will spend money on you when you find a lane or an avenue where you can be more interesting than their dollar. And I think that's a great thing to think about from an arm wrestling perspective too. If you're trying to build arm wrestling, you're trying to build yourself in arm wrestling, make yourself worth more than the dollar and the dollars will come. So I think that's a fun way to look at it.
It's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
And another thing that you said, I think you hit it on the head. It's tricky though because I think you and I can sit here and be like post content, and the new kids that are coming in, I even all your buddies, even Milo, like you guys all post content. You're great at it. I think Devin does a really good job too. Don't get me wrong, but there are some of those people who've been arm wrestling for so long, and they're like, "Oh, you get that camera off of me." You know what I mean? And it's like I get it. Like if you don't have your reasons to not be filmed, I understand. But I think that if you really want the sport to grow, then there needs to be like an influx of content that people can watch that is related to the sport.
Yeah, yeah, and I totally agree. I just think, end of the day, if you want certain things, if you want the sport to grow, if you want to get paid more, if you want to have people following you more, you have to put the work in.
Yeah.
Nothing's free. Nothing in life that is worth anything is easy. So you have to want it. If you don't want it, yeah, don't worry. If you don't have to do this, but you just don't complain about not getting the rewards from that you would get from doing it. It's social media itself is a form of currency. It
Yeah.
gets you messages. It gets you interest. It's a certain reputation that you have to be like instantly, okay, I can reach this many people like that. So you just have to understand what you're giving up if you are willing to give it up. And
Yeah.
to me, I'm not willing to give it up. It's part of the sport to me. But I
Yeah.
get it. I do understand if you're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm fine on money. I'm just gonna arm wrestle and be the best I can. Hats off to you.
Yeah, no, and that's a fair point. Some people maybe they're fine on money they don't want to post, and that's completely okay too. But you're right. It's I like how you said it because you have to look at it almost the same way you would train. Like you need to get good at social media. You need to understand how to be good. Like these people with millions of followers aren't Neanderthals. Well, okay, maybe there's like five of them who are literally just posting Neanderthal content. But a lot of them are calculated. They're on a schedule. They have a hook that makes you watch, even if they're doing something dumb. And like what you did your video the other day where you're like yelling, you're sitting and you're like just you do all these ones. You'll have a smoothie. You have so many, and people will watch and be like, well, that was why is he doing that? He's puking on the ground now. But the fact of the matter is they watch the whole video and then they're
Correct.
probably like, why is he doing this, right? So kudos to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you're probably not going to tell me this, but I gotta ask while I have you here. What's is there anything coming up after Lion Pride? Do you have anything maybe in your sights? Is there anything you can tell us?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things I can kind of briefly talk about. I'm going down to help commentate for the TAWF. That's gonna be
Okay.
great. I believe that's in March now. I think that got moved around a little bit, but very exciting. I
Oh, you're
really,
coming down to Calgary.
yeah, I'll be there.
Dude, I'll
Will
be
you be
there.
there?
See you there. March 28th. It did just get
Perfect.
moved.
Perfect. See you then. That's gonna be awesome.
That's
But
sweet.
yeah, I feel like there's a couple things I guess I can talk about. There's some things potentially with Kevin Wolf. There's some thoughts there. Could do some fun with him. Leonidas is coming up tomorrow night. He's training with us, but
Oh, he's coming up. Perfect.
yeah, as for things that are locked in, nothing's confirmed. Nothing's
Okay.
confirmed past Lions Pride. I like to live one match at a time, but yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm just so excited for Hans Tillman. I'm so excited. I've been
Yeah, man.
working everything so hard. I'm trying to get as massive as I can. I'm doing okay, but my hand feels really good. I can't wait. Cannot
Yeah,
wait. I cannot wait.
that's sweet. So for the people still watching, give us a quick rundown on the event. Give us a date. Give us is it a pay-per-view?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
January 31st, everybody. Make sure you go to Lion Pride Arm Wrestling League. This is the third event they've held. Watch their old stuff. It's the best. You got to make sure to buy the pay-per-view. It's really, really exciting. I cannot wait. There's a bunch of matches. Sanders is pulling on there. You got Supinator versus Ethan LeVay. It's a really nice card. A lot of guys that I'm not super that I don't personally know really well, but while I prepped for this match and was watching, I watched all their stuff. All these guys are so awesome, and nobody knows. Like, there's a lot of people who nobody knows a lot about, but I'm telling you, these guys are so cool, and they're posting like all the time. Basically, what I'm saying is you can't miss this pay per view. Super exciting. Lion Pride Armor 3. It's gonna be great. All the Tolman. I'm gonna smack you. Bang.
Perfect. Well, I guess I'll do my plug quick too while we're on it. But Sanders is also the main event of a card I'm pulling on. He's
Oh,
pulling
nice.
Adam Warzinski at the Montana Armbender. So I
Oh
got the
yeah.
shirt on here. And I'm pulling Brian Johnson on that card, left arm. It's on February 14th, so Valentine's Day. Also a pay-per-view on YouTube, Montana Armbender. The link and everything is there, so check that one out too. It's kind of funny, we both have Sanders headlining our card, so I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that until right now.
Fun.
So I got two more things that we'll quickly cover on, and then you're free to go.
Perfect.
But we talked about the influencers that you've trained with, but let's talk about the Brian Shaws and the Eddie Halls and the strongmen coming in.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, that's doing great things for the sport, but what kind of trajectory do you see Brian on itself, but then just that for arm wrestling?
Yeah, it's hard to answer that question, really. Brian is such a monster. He's such a freak. He's doing really, really well. He's still very dedicated. You can see it, but it's so hard to predict.
Hmm.
I think Brian knows what he's doing. He's doing everything right. I worry sometimes when you have a guy who's that good coming in, there's a bit of an expectation for them to never lose. And
Yeah,
I think that's the worst thing you can have in your head. I think if I was Brian, I would jump in every tournament I could. I would lose. I would lose to random bums, like just lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. People think he's gonna be the best in like a year. Obviously
yeah,
not. I can say that wholeheartedly, not a chance he's gonna be the best in the world in a year.
yeah,
If he sticks with it though, and if he takes these losses along the way and he learns, I do believe he can make it. I mean, there's not many guys who are just like physically bigger than him. So he will kind of always have the size advantage, at least for now. But yeah, I think he can do it if he just keeps working and if he's willing to arm wrestle like crazy.
yeah,
Now, as for the rest of strongmen, I think this is a really, really interesting opportunity. I think having guys like Brian, having guys like Eddie, having guys like Robert Oberst, having these
yeah,
guys that are showing a lot of interest in the arm wrestling world sets up the next generation of guys who are like in strongmen and then also find arm wrestling who are like 7 foot monsters and decide
yeah,
arm wrestling is actually cooler. We haven't had those happen yet, but it might happen soon.
yeah.
So having these strong men show interest leads me to believe we will have that happen soon. And then just good luck, Levon. Good luck, Vitali. There's a new generation of monsters.
Yeah, it's crazy to think where this sport can end up, and it's super exciting. I know, especially for I think for you and I particularly, like we're at that age kind of group. Like you're a bit younger than me, but we're gonna be in the sport for a long time yet, and it's gonna be interesting to kind of see where it is now, and then look back because I know like you and I we've had exposure. You've had more than me for sure, but like I've been to a King of the Table, I've been to East versus West, I've been to a few, and so I kind of know the scene a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you know it great. And it's going to be interesting to see where that scene adjusts because even like Brian's show was awesome to be at in Colorado, and there's a lot of differences, and it's fun to kind of see the differences and what comes with that. So, yeah, I mean, arm wrestling I think is in a really good. It's in a good spot, but it's going to be getting into a better spot. It's
Couldn't
exciting.
agree with you more.
Last thing, so I post some videos just kind of for new people coming into the sport. Maybe they found arm wrestling and they're like, "How do I get better?"
Mhm.
What are some tips that you would give to somebody? Let's say they're green. They like found a club maybe. They're trying to figure out some lifts. They're trying to figure out what to do. What are some recommendations?
I mean, I have really one recommendation, and I think it's the best thing hands down. Get to a club, arm wrestle. You want to go to arm wrestling, especially at the start, you just got to arm wrestle. Arm wrestle as much as you physically can. When I was kind of first really starting out and got really serious, I would arm wrestle like crazy, and I would get home and I would watch arm wrestling matches. I would watch the matches, and I would just try and put myself in their shoes, think about the techniques, think about it all. Very quickly, you will understand arm wrestling better. And that's when you can start implementing lifts and really thinking about the stuff. But at the beginning, you just got to arm wrestle. Like as much as you physically can, just arm wrestle, arm wrestle, arm wrestle. You'll learn on the way.
Yeah. And to touch on that, I think one good thing to add on there is don't. It doesn't matter who you arm wrestle, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Like all of us have licked our wounds and had our losses, and that's how you get better. And you just got to go in there, leave your ego at the door, and just literally want to arm wrestle as many people as you can. I know you're like this, Auden, and I know I'm like this, but I'll go to practice and I will arm wrestle until I'm like drained and I'm just pull. Well, you're maybe sorry, you're on a regimen now. You might be a little different, but I just pull, and I get drained, and you just leave, and you're like, what did I learn? What was I weak at? Where am I getting stronger? Be calculated with it, but if you're brand new, just go and arm wrestle and have fun.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. Well, Auden, that's all I got for you, man. But I really appreciate you giving me some time to come on. Best of luck to you in your Lion Pride event, and best of luck to Devin with all his endeavors coming up. Milo's moving to Australia, isn't he?
Yeah, for a little bit. We'll see how long he sticks around. Yeah, that should be
Yeah, so
fun.
good luck to him on the move. I've actually never met your sister, so I good
Oh,
luck to her and whatever she's doing. And then tell Jody I said, hey, I haven't seen her in a while. So
well, thank you for having me on, Dakota. Appreciate it, and I will let her know. Good luck in you for you as Mel. I can't even speak today, man. It's terrible.
no, you're
Good
good. You're
luck
good.
for you as well on your match. You're gonna do
Yeah,
great.
thank you, man. It'll be good. We'll keep in touch like we always do, and
Mhm.
I'll see you guys soon. Take care, and guys, make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend. Go check out Auden's channels. Just search
Yeah,
him up, Auden Larratt, and
that's me.
give him a follow, give him a subscribe, and yeah, he's got lots of good stuff on the way. I will see you guys soon.